Welcome to Privilège Catamarans America. I'm Rob Poirier. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a subject I've been dealing with for the last 2 years, and that is what is really different. What are the comparisons between the former 585, a very, very popular boat in the marketplace, and the current newly released 580? And the first thing I want to point out is, unlike the changes that were made from the 5 series to the 510, the 580 is a completely new boat. It is not a transition from the former design to a newer design. The 585 was designed entirely by Marc Lombard. And even though Marc played a large role in the new 580, he also shared the design work with Frank Darnay. So this is where the new Privilège design really has sort of veered off from its traditional, roots a little bit here. What I really like to point out is the similarities. One of the things I like, of course, about the new 580 is that it has the same construction methodology as the old 585. That hasn't changed. So the quality of bulkhead work, the layup procedures, that has not changed at all. And there are some other important fundamental facts. The current boat still, like the 585, enjoys that rostrum, that forward structure. And that forward structure is the reason why the current boat, like the former 585, has that nice forward cabin option. It also allows for the baby stay, the inner stay. Your rigging is very, very solid, very strong for offshore sailing. It also gives you that large capacity for an anchor locker, as well as the twin anchor setup that we really think is important on these offshore boats. So from that perspective, the boat really has managed to stay very true to those elements of the Privilège line. Some of the other things that I really noticed on the new 580 that are similar is the galley down option. This has worked out really well. And of course, furniture. I mean, the quality of furniture, the design might be completely different, but in terms of the way the furniture is built and installed in the boat, that has stayed the same. So what is really different on the new 580? If there has to be one thing that's really obviously different between the 580, the current 580, and the former boat, is the new 580 has this exceptional amount of exterior accommodation. The first one, of course, is the fly deck that just gives you great forward visibility. One other area that the 580 is really quite different, more than you might expect from the 585, is the helm position. First of all, on the new boat, we have all the lines running to that helm, giving you much better short-handed control of the boat. And frankly, the new helm is better raised for better visibility and nicer weather protection. The other area, of course, is the forward lounge, which gives you access from the master cabin and access from the salon as well. But to me, the area that is very different is the area you would consider the same, and that is the cockpit. The fact is, on the 580, the cockpit is much bigger, and it gives you much more access to the water. If you look at the transom and the bottom steps, they're much larger than on the former boat. So when you're on the two boats, your sense of access to water has been greatly enhanced by the new designs of this new 580. And then you add the optional tender lift to the 580, and your sense of closeness to water from the cockpit, which will always still be the most important area of living on the outside of that boat, is really enhanced greatly. So this is a really fundamental difference between the former 585. The other thing that is unmistakable, but to me, this is a little just more a personal choice. The current boat is much brighter. Of course, windows have gotten bigger. The salon area is much larger. That's achieved simply by not having the mast step forward of the salon, but having the salon actually move forward of where the mast is stepped on the boat. So this gives you this greater, larger living area in the salon. The aft cabins, of course, are brighter, bigger, and larger walk-around beds. And how is this achieved? It's a little confusing to people that are phoning me, because it's very easy to discover that the length of the boat, the beam of the boat are almost the same. They've only changed by a foot or so. So how this is achieved, I think, is by the fact that the current boat might not actually have the capacity for as many cabins as the former 585 did. The 585 actually can have more cabins apart from a crew quarters. So on the current boat, you've got 4 large cabins, plus you can add a crew quarters to that. Whereas on the former boat, you would have potential for 5 cabins plus a crew cabin. And I think that's pretty obviously where all that additional space is achieved on the current boat. but it depends on what you're looking for. And of course, the livability is very, very nice. The final area of discussion relates to performance. The designers of the boat have told me that with the new 580, performance was a larger priority than it was on the previous boat. And I can't comment on the 585 performance. I've heard nothing but good things, but I've never actually been aboard. I've never sailed a 585. But having sailed the 580 a couple of times now, these are new, very clean bottom boats, but the performance has been just absolutely excellent. Now, if you want to get to see one of these boats, the 580 will be at the International Multi-Hull Show in April in France at La Grande Motte. And good news for us, one of our clients who's having a 580 built plans to bring the boat stateside in the coming months. And we hope to have an open house in maybe late winter, early spring, and we'll let everybody know about that. Thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you again. Bye-bye.